Greetings and welcome back to the lab. We've got a package. We're going to open it up and we're going to do some experiments. Now, this may take a few episodes just to get through some of what I've got here, but these were things that I ordered before everything went crazy. And I also bought myself some good anti-cut gloves to protect my fingers just in case. But in this case, I'm going to just stick with the scissors. Hopefully that will work. And I have to say I was kind of inspired to do this by Joey Does Tech. So thank you for your sort of idea with the gloves. I'm sure you had different reasons, but here we go. Let's open this up, find out what I got and if it matches what I ordered, or if I got another mystery bonus like last time, or I ordered up 100 LEDs for something, which I haven't gotten to. Actually, I guess I did get to it, but not in full scale, and they sent me 1,000. Whoops, that was a bit close. Almost doxed myself, because I didn't know there was going to be 4 bags in a bag, and now we get to test out the scissors thing a little bit more. Let's see what this one says. 1 of 1. Doesn't really tell me anything else, so I have no idea which item this is. And I'm hoping I'm not cutting through anything important. I'll dump it out. See what we've got. All right. We got LEDs. That was one of the things I ordered. I double check off camera. There's nothing else in here. So these are for the car project, which this video is going to take me a little longer to edit together. But these are the warm white. And the idea with these for the car project is these are actually the headlights. I'll be able to stick them in from the back or from the inside of the shell. And then the wires will come out and I can attach everything to appropriate circuit board or whatever. I haven't quite gotten to that detail, but I knew I needed 5mm warm white for the old traditional round headlights, not the super focused ones that you see nowadays. This is supposed to be a sports car reminiscent of the 60s or 70s. So that's good that I've got those. Let's see what else I've got. It was small enough, it might be a set of, screws. And the idea here was another project I was thinking of that I'm calling the Orb, at least tentatively, until somebody proves to me that I can't use that name or something. But let me get rid of this. And so these are 20mm 3mm M3 screws that are 20mm long. That's 2. Actually say anything. I'm going to guess this is going to be more LEDs because I did order more LEDs. And it's about the same size package. And Janson is a brand I tend to trust. They have not steered me wrong on LEDs, except once on Amazon. And I don't think that was really their fault. I think whoever was picking from the warehouse picked the wrong one and sent it to me. And then I had a whole thing with Amazon returning it saying it was the wrong color. And then they denied my return after they got it, saying I sent them the wrong color. Go figure. Okay, these are yellow flashing. So these are going to be 5mm? I thought they were supposed to be 3. Huh. I'll have to go back and look at that. So I was thinking about the yellow flashing because I'm thinking about the signal lights on the car. So similar idea, different LED. I thought there was supposed to be one more. Maybe I already have them. Yes, the brake lights are red. These should be 3 compared to 5. I'm trying to figure that out. So before I dox myself, let's see if I can figure out, does it actually say on here No, it says 5mm pre-wired. All right, well, worst case scenario, since I'm not done with it, I can take how do I describe this? You've got a shell of a car, and you've got a hole going from the inside to the outside that allows me to stick the LED in there. Worst case scenario, I can narrow that hole where it comes out so it's only 3mm there and still have it 5mm on the inside. So everything would be a 5mm LED, makes it that much easier. The color of the wires, I don't know if you can tell, is slightly more pale here on warm white and a bit brighter or more saturated on the yellow. So this will be good. We'll play with it. We'll see what we get. Now there should be, this next one should be a sensor. This is the first one I really want to play with because I have not actually tried to use these before. So if I can get these out. Are you stuck to the inside of the envelope? So this is, or should be, wireless. They stuck together. Interesting. I'm going to have to figure out how to get this apart. They are wireless coils for receiving power. So I have, for my phone, I have actually multiple wireless chargers. Yeah, this is going to be a pain to try and get open because it's the Ziploc where they make it's like they make the Ziploc and then they cut it so it's exactly even front to back. See if I can't use the scissors to separate it for me. I am going to cut this thing open and we'll find another bag for it later. But that will allow me to play with one of them and leave the other one packaged up until I'm ready for it. But the idea with the wireless charger was I've got all these batteries that I got from, if you go back and look at my battery hunting series on the main channel, it turns out Big Clive and others have now pointed out that some of the as Clive would say, vaporizing devices. Actually, most of them, it seems, have the rechargeable batteries built into them, but they're set up as one-time use. So, now this isn't working too well. All right, that was a little bit of a struggle, but I got it out. So here's this tiny, tiny little thing, and I'm going to have to figure out, I'm going to have to get my multimeter out and do a little bit of testing. We'll just see how well this works. It should be, I believe it's a 1-inch wide coil. I can verify that with my rulers. Part of the tools I mentioned for upcoming videos. Here we are. We're going to use it. And let's see. Does this seem to match up to... Wow, that does... Oh, okay. I'm looking at the left from the wrong way. So if I look at it from a 1 here to the 2, that is about right. It's about 1 inch. So that's probably what I'll do in my design is when I accommodate this, I will put a little dip in the bottom of the design for 1 inch. So I can press this in and I'll probably actually measure it on the millimeters a little bit more accurately later just to see. Yeah, it looks like it's about 24. Unless I'm not measuring it right. So anyway, that's the idea with that. Let me go get my multimeter and set up with a wireless charging pad, and we'll see what kind of things we can do with this. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. I've got my charging pad ready to go here. I've got I can do this, an LED here. And what I'm thinking is, it's maybe a little too bright for the LED. If I can figure out, okay, there's plus and minus on the board. So if I could separate this. Just want to get it in there enough to verify that it's actually receiving power. There's no battery involved here. The idea is it's induction. In other words, I don't know how else to describe that. But the coil is receiving a magnetic field. The coil in this pad is generating a magnetic field. This coil here is receiving that magnetic field and converting it back to electricity. Now, if I've done it right, I don't know if it has to be centered. I don't appear to be getting anything. Okay, well, now the LED has popped out. So let's just put this on here. We'll get the multimeter and see what kind of voltage we get out of it and go from there. But this is why I wanted to test this idea. Wireless technology tends to be a bit much for me. I have a lot of background. One day I'll get to like playing with Wi-Fi devices and stuff like that, but this is not that. And let's see. So this should be, I don't know how well that's going to come through. I can see where the plus and minus are. Take my glasses off. It's too close. There's a negative. Here's a positive. I've done it right. I'm getting millivolts. So either this is not working or I'm doing something wrong. At this point, I am going to do some experiments off camera to try and figure out what's going on and maybe look at it a little closer. And I will either come back to you or come back to you with a result, or we'll end the video here and pick up on another video. I'll be right back. All right, I had to take a really odd angle here to get this to you, but it looks like it needs to be centered. It needs to be flipped over like that. I don't know if that's absolutely true, but I'm now receiving 5 volts here. So I'm going to try, and I also have my leads backwards. But I'm going to try the experiment with the LED. We'll see if we can get that to work. I'll be right back. All right. I wish I could have caught something that would have explained it in a way that you could see, but this right here is basically like a 2 to 3 volt LED, and I'm outputting 5 volts from this thing. Actually, I might be outputting even more depending on the protocol and what it thinks this thing is supposed to deliver, which this, when I bought it, was supposed to deliver 5 volts at 3 watts, which would be 600 milliamps. This little LED is not going to handle more than 20. So I need to hook up a different LED with a resistor, and I just happen to have these. So this is supposed to be a 3 to 12 volt. So I'm going to try and pull one of these out and see if I can't get it in there. And I will be right back with that version and hopefully some proof that this actually does work. All right, be honest. How many of you were yelling at me down in the comments there? Tell me, how many of you were yelling at me saying, why aren't you using the clips you got in the last episode? Well, here they are. I brought them out. I wired up one of these. We're going to find out, will it light up? Do I need to flip it over? That's going to take a little bit more testing. Trying to make sure I keep this in view. There it is. Okay. Turns out there's a delay because I'm guessing because of the protocol, so that the wireless sender knows that the receiver is capable before it tries to send out a bunch of power. Let's see if I can get this turned so you can see it. Gloves are off, by the way. I had to do that just to get this working, but this is not a direct contact. This is being done wirelessly. Now, as to the question whether it needs to be flipped over, I know that there's like a range, like 2 to 8 millimeters or something like that. I'm going to take a chance on holding my hand down on that. See if we can get it to register or not. Hoping I'm not shorting something out. Interesting. That's a really tight tolerance if it won't take it here. Got to give it a little time as I move it. And maybe double check that there's nothing shorted out or disconnected. Those are connected. These are not shorting out. They are not shorting out. I'm not quite sure why. It's not working at this distance. I'm guessing if I had a larger coil, it would give me more room to kind of get it centered properly. But then I want to keep the coil small for the projects I'm thinking about. So let's make sure we haven't messed something else up and flip this over. And just get it working again that way. There it is. So yeah, it is pretty sensitive to distance. So I'm going to have to figure that part of this out. But there you go. We got this working. I can try with some others, but I'm going to end the video here, and we'll pick up with another experiment with these parts and maybe some other parts. And, let me show you what the resistor substitution is looking like. That's coming along, but it's not very complete. But then once I get past a certain point, all the rest of it becomes much simpler. So this is what it looks like as I'm editing this video. So thank you so much for watching. Take care and stay tuned. We'll see you on the next one.